end of the 19th century, the world changes forever. The economy gives into industry and the mass production of goods. Huge businesses appear that employ dozens, hundreds, thousands of people. The cities filled with inhabitants that regained their right to leisure and rest just a few decades ago. The consumerist society emerges. And with it, modernism, an artistic and philosophical movement that wanted to keep up with this new world. How? By breaking away from the past with new ways of creating, thinking, designing. In Germany, a group of artists took everything about creating a new world very seriously. They were called Deutsche Werkbund, and they wanted to transform everything from couch cushions to the way cities are built. They were the first to seriously debate the need to build a solid image for trademarks. The history of modern logotype design begins with their work. One of the best-known Deutsche Werkbund members was architect Peter Behrens. In 1907, Behrens started working as the art director for the German appliance company AEG. There, Behrens designed everything that fell into his hands: publications, logotypes, lamps, factories. At the same time, Behrens became the first industrial designer and the first to come up with a full visual identity for a brand. But it would still take companies decades to understand the true importance of good design. A design that also wasn't always close to German minimalism and that was closely linked to the trends of every era. Let's take a look at the origins of the Coca-Cola logo, for example, and the detailed lettering that's lasted up until our days. At that time, with the rise of Art Nouveau, this style was fashionable in the emerging designer profession. But minimalism would prevail throughout most of the 20th century, mostly thanks to the influence of the German school of design Bauhaus. Bauhaus, founded by Walter Gropius in 1919, held on to many of the ideas formulated by the Deutsche Werkbund, adding an educational component that also influenced countless designers. Take a look at the school's logo designed by Oskar Schlemmer in 1922. It encapsulates all of the main ideas of Bauhaus: the human face turned into abstract shapes and geometrical figures. Just like a machine, an aesthetically pleasing form is no more than the result of perfect construction with the objective of achieving the best performance. Countless logos that we see daily were designed with these principles in mind. And then, World War II arrived. After the war, with Europe in ruins, and the United States in an economic boom, the next chapter of logo design would happen there. Since the turn of the 20th century, the conglomerate of big American businesses hadn't stopped growing. Appliances, transport, media. The country was shaping the world, and a logo was no longer enough for its companies. Like Behrens theorized 50 years earlier, they needed a visual identity that could traverse every aspect of the company. They needed designs that could be adapted to dozens or hundreds of different formats. They needed a corporate identity. Rand applied the core ideas of European modernism to the big US conglomerates, asserting that a logo cannot survive unless it is designed with the utmost simplicity and restraint. The designer was essential to convincing brands of the importance of design and worked to define the aesthetics of many of them. Saul Bass, also known for his movie posters, would introduce the refined style from Europe to popular culture. And Milton Glaser, the well-known creator of the New York logo, would be a pioneer when it comes to linking a visual identity to a city. Another young American designer, Lance Wyman, would do one of the most influential corporate identity and design jobs of the next decades. The design campaign for the Olympic Games in Mexico in 1968. From the basic shape of the Olympic rings, Wyman designed a whole world of curving lines. So, from the rings themselves emanated the rest of the visual identity of the games. a structure that's both open and closed to all of the necessary format adaptations. By the end of the 70s, the modernist logo design theory had been put into place all over the world. Order, simplicity, or the search for a balanced structural system were the main trends in most solutions for brands, grouped in the branding discipline. And then the 80s came, and MTV. Since Peter Behrens, the Modernity Project had pursued one idea: improving the world through design. In a chaotic and violent world, a coherent and organized aesthetic could be salvation. But when the 80s arrived, the modern project seemed to have failed in its attempt to change the world. This is the rise of postmodernism, and with it, a new aesthetic for logos. In the early 80s, the studio Manhattan Design creates what would be the first MTV logo for the next 2 decades. The self-restraint ended. MTV wanted to convey so many different things that they decided their logo would just keep mutating, changing in shape and color to adapt to this new paradigm. This is the genesis of flexible visual identities. Open systems like the one designed by Wolf Olins for AOL, a world of meanings where the only constant is the name of the brand. After the second decade of the 21st century, studios like Chermayeff and Geismar and Haviv, Landor, Pentagram, Wolf Olins, and Siegel and Gale, worldwide branding leaders, continue to work every day to break the limits of everything that's been designed up till now. With the appearance of digital technology, creating has become easier than ever, and design has been democratized. Although humans have yet to create a global language, logos are pretty close. Some make us feel like we're among family. They encode our dreams, our desires, our hopes. They're concealing something that goes beyond the commercial, something we've held within us since someone decided to draw a bison on a wall thousands of years ago.